In this week's episode of African Roots in Vietnam.
There's been a recent surge in crimes against Asians in general in the Western world. Let me say in America. And I've seen a lot of this hashtags, Stop Asian Hate, do this. What do you think can be done to bring us closer and unite us as one? I'm curious to know why suddenly there are a lot of black women coming to Vietnam. A lot of foreigners find the culture, like the food, the language, but then you've already talked about the language aspect of it. Now I want to ask you, the food.
Yeah.
How do you find it? Is there something you really got used to immediately right away, or something that you had to adapt to quite slowly? From the time you heard about Vietnam to the time you made the decision to migrate to Vietnam, what were the things you heard the first time you heard about Vietnam? What were the things that you heard, and since you've been here, have you found that exactly the way you heard it, or there have been some misconceptions about Vietnam?
I did get come du ga.
Cung đùi gà.
Come du
Cung đùi gà.
gua. Come đùi gà.
Cung đùi gà. Cung đùi gà.
The chicken pie and rice.
Cung đùi gà. Where have you visited?
I've been to Dalat.
Dalat. Oh, awesome,
And
beautiful city.
I've been to Nha Trang.
Oh, Nha Trang.
Nha Trang.
Not Nha Trang. Look at the way she pronounced it. No, it's alright. You've only been here for a year. Come on. So Nha Trang.
Nha Trang.
Yeah, it's Chang. The TR. It's Cha. Nha Trang.
That's the beauty of the language.
That's the beauty of the language,
That's
actually.
like what it sounds like.
It's not as it looks. It's not the way it's
Not
read.
at all.
Not at all.
African Roots. African Roots.
Hello and welcome to today's edition of African Roots on Afroviet TV. I'm your host, Mr. Nam, the most handsome guy in Vietnam, as you already know. Okay, on today's edition of the show, we will be talking to a beautiful lady all the way from United States who's been here not a long time ago, but she's had her own share of experiences of living in Vietnam, and we'll be speaking to her to find out the little time that she's been here, what her experiences have been, and concerning other issues that we'll be speaking to her about. And on African Roots, we get to peel the layers and get to know about people who have a connection to Africa or Afro-descendant culture. And so on this show, every week, we will be interviewing people who are doing businesses that has to do with African or Afro-descendant culture, who are into fashion, hair, music, whatever it is that is Afro culture. So if you haven't subscribed to this channel, please hit the subscribe button and subscribe to Afroviet TV. Now, let's go find Miss Jazz. See you guys. Hi Jazz.
Hi, how are you?
Sorry for keeping you waiting. How you been? Good to see you.
Wow, how are you?
I'm alright. I'll be better. Thanks for accepting to have this conversation today. I've been looking forward to speaking to you. And can you give a little bit of an introduction, who you are, so that our viewers can actually get to know you?
Okay, my name is Jazmyn Davis. I am born and raised in Dallas, Fort Worth, Texas. I went to school for communications. That's where I got my first degree. I got my second degree in Denton, Texas, in journalism with a concentration in public relations, and a minor in social science. So to put that in easy terms, I like being around and socializing with people and experiencing them through how they communicate. Again, past words, writing, and
Nice.
listening, everything.
Nice. Okay, I want to go straight to it. Why Vietnam?
Honestly,
Before I get to that, I want to ask you, how long have you been here?
I'm coming up about on a year now, maybe.
A year
and a few weeks now, literally.
Just say over a year, just...
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So now to my main question, why Vietnam? What is it about Vietnam? Why did you choose to come here?
Honestly, I just like experiences that are new to what I am used to doing in like my day to day.
Yeah.
And I was graduating from this small town, kind of just waiting for the next experience, just being like optimistic but pessimistic at the same time. Just like, what am I going to do? And this opportunity just fell into my lap to be a communications instructor.
Okay.
So it was like, why not? I mean, it's a year, maybe it was like 16 month contract.
Okay.
It's a year, it's new. I like new. That's why I'm in this, city right now.
You know, because it's kind of strange. A couple of years back, when we actually came here, there were not a lot of black women here in Vietnam. So, but recently I've started noticing that a lot of they are becoming like an influx of black women to Vietnam. That's beautiful for me to see as a black man, but that's at the same time, I'm curious to know why suddenly there are a lot of black women coming to Vietnam. Why do you think so?
I really honestly would personally say like new experiences. I feel like perhaps maybe some of us are in our, I guess boring, not really what I'm looking for or what I feel like I'm working hard for. I'm not getting what I feel like I'm deserving. There's probably many of reasons, I'm not gonna just say that my reason is why, but I do believe like many people could say new experiences, especially just from the norm of America and what we deal with in America. To move somewhere like here, it's new, and you still have to adjust as a black woman, especially if you don't know the language. So it's literally like new kid all over, but it's a little bit more welcoming because certain things that do remind you of home, you experience it in a different way, so it might not impact you like it does at home.
Okay. All right. As you can see, we are sitting at a very beautiful. This is like the epicenter of Ho Chi Minh City.
Yes.
Today. Yeah, and so I usually something I do on this show. I don't like sitting. Sitting is too boring for me, so I usually like sometimes get up and walk around.
Morning energy.
Yeah, I can see that. I'm not really a super morning coffee guy, but I can handle like a cup of coffee in a month or two.
Definitely. I honestly didn't drink this much coffee until I got to Vietnam. I was a tea drinker at home, and I still drink tea out here, but I never really ordered a coffee just on ice.
There is a big coffee culture right here in Vietnam.
I love it. I love it.
Oh my gosh.
It tastes so rich that I'm like, I'll have it here. I will order it here,
But I'm still not on that bandwagon yet. I'm still trying to find my feet on the coffee tradition here because
start with tea.
Tea,
and just
right?
appreciate those, earthly things.
Okay.
And maybe when you can appreciate the florals
Oh,
and the herbs and then you can go, okay, let's step up
Let's step up to the coffee. Yeah. I'm still getting used to having a cup of coffee, but with a lot of milk, because I
Okay,
can't handle the black coffee.
Oh, okay. That's what I have right here.
Black coffee?
on
Oh
ice.
my gosh, that's so hard for me. A lot of people might call me what they call kwebab in Vietnam. Is like a gully man. But
Okay.
that's kind of like, I am not used to having alcohol a lot.
Okay.
I am not used to having a lot of coffee. I can drink coffee here and there, but not really like, you can't call me a
So
coffee
you don't
drinker.
really like potent drinks, is what you're saying.
Exactly,
I understand.
exactly. So I want to
just take a walk.
Take a walk and explore the beauty of this place, because
course.
I don't know, this church has been under construction for so many years now. I don't know when it's going to get finished. So we'll take a walk and then we'll talk some more.
Awesome.
All right.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Fallen one too many times, feeling like it never ends. Back again, square one. Tried to leave myself behind, looking for a better place, not to stay alone. Gain our trust and you chose to break it. Ask for truth but you only fake it. Thought you said what we had was sacred. It's all lies, all lies. I was broken and isolated, but inside held the fire waiting. Not a word.
Okay, Judge, I would like to ask you, you've been here for over a year. What is your experience here so far?
It's been very relaxed.
Okay.
That's usually how I describe it to people back home. I don't feel like I have too many worries
Okay.
when I'm going about my day. I feel like every day that you wake up, you can create your own vibe. Enjoy that control.
Okay. So, I mean, like, what do you do here since you've been here? What is your job?
So I'm a communications instructor, so I teach English, math, science, culture, and throughout the day while I'm teaching those subjects, I'm correcting grammar, I'm correcting just how you say your phonics, I'm just correcting you as we go over each of those studies. I'm a communications instructor, so cool.
Okay, you've not been here for that long, but I've got to ask you, how has the Vietnamese culture, how has Vietnam impacted you, especially as a young black woman traveling solo, coming all the way from America to a different culture, different environment? What can you say has been the biggest impact or the biggest shock, culture shock, or whatever you've experienced while being here?
I would just say really having to stand my ground on independence. It's such a different culture as a black woman, and then being raised as even a Vietnamese woman from what I've been told. Obviously it's only from listening experience at that point, but on one end, me, I'm raised with both of my parents married. Don't depend on a man, be independent, move. And then on the other end, when I come here, I'm kind of taught like the exact opposite, where it's like the man is kind of the person who we are following here. And that's just like an all kinship. And I understand submission, but again, there's a balance for me personally, and everyone has their own preference, of course, but I'm just answering the question from
Of course.
my
So,
experience.
I've got to get this question out of the way because I'm kind of curious. Because me as a black dude, I've been in some places in Vietnam where people are very curious about my curly hair, and I don't even have hair. Now, if I might put that question to you, have you had like interaction with Vietnamese who are very curious about your hair, and
So a few of my students, or I guess you could say clients, if you will, they sometimes, the younger ones, will touch my hair. They'll say like, "Come here," and I'll bend down because I think they have a secret to tell me.
Yeah.
And they'll be touching my hair, or like when I straighten it or when I braid it, it's usually like, "Oh my."
Okay, the language is a very big thing here.
Yes.
You know, for a foreigner coming here for the first time, you'll be shocked. And it's not even like, I can't say you're shocked, but knowing that there are not a lot of people who can speak your language, how you find, how are you navigating through that?
Well, the community is actually very welcoming.
Yeah.
So I haven't really had too many problems with getting around. It would have helped to study the language before I came to the
Vietnam.
country and decided to migrate there and stay there. I probably should have done some kind of week or two rundown, but it's worked itself out.
Okay.
So through Google Translate.
Google Translate, of course.
I have stayed sane.
Okay, now let me ask you this. Let me take you back a little bit. What was the first time you learned about Vietnam? What was the first time you even heard about Vietnam or you even learned about Vietnam?
I want to say like in my 5th or 6th grade class, history class.
That early?
Hearing about, yeah, definitely.
Okay.
I'm even noticing being a communications instructor, the curriculum here is a lot different in how they present it. So you saying a lot early is kind of not surprising.
Not surprising?
But yes, 5th, 7th grade, you know, middle school, if you will, because you're learning about history, you're learning about different wars and different things that we've taken part of. I didn't go into deep learning. It's not like, so when you come here, you get a different perspective of what it's like, you know, this story you've heard America paint so long. So just experience, like hearing that was really all the experience I'm really honest. And then eating a lot of pho at home.
Okay, I'm going to come to that. I'm going to come to the food, but I want to know, because I'm curious to know, like from the time you heard about Vietnam to the time you made the decision to migrate to Vietnam per se. Migrating is it might not be the word because I don't know how long you're going to stay here, but so when I'm like thinking about you knowing about Vietnam. What were the things you heard the first time you heard about Vietnam? What were the things that you heard, and have you since you've been here, have you found out exactly the way you heard it, or there have been some misconceptions about Vietnam?
Definitely, actually. So my plane landed the day, like hours maybe before the lockdown.
The lockdown, okay.
They sent out a message, and the date that they said, if you landed in Vietnam from this date and on, it was like literally in my flight it was just crazy how that worked out.
Okay.
But so before I came here though, when I first told people, I had like a 2-week turnaround from when I found out I was coming. People were like, they're right under China, coronavirus, etc. I have to be honest, that's what they said. And I remember saying like, well actually, because again, at the time, you guys had zero.
Zero.
Had 0 cases. So I was like, actually, United States has like 16 cases and they have 0, so I'm actually safer there. I get here, I had a safe flight. I landed in Qatar first.
Okay.
I get here and I had gloves and masks just because it was like Donald Trump was saying it's a hoax, but I'm like, common sense tells me, and my dad works in the medical field, so I was just gonna take my mask and gloves anyway. And then I get here and we lock down a day later.
Oh my God.
So months go by in quarantine, but they got everything together and we were like living a normal life after like 2 or 3 months, maybe 4 months.
Okay.
So the misconception is that because a lot of people were like, you don't need to go, like COVID's, this virus apparently, and it's a third world, like just all of that, and
so
the
many
last
negatives.
thing you want to do is go to a place where medical, like just all of, just stereotypes and everything, fears and everything. I remember kind of just being like, it's a new experience, and at the end of the day, like I believe that, I'm safe, I'm protected, I'm covered. I don't need to worry about any of that. This is a great opportunity. I just graduated college. Why not? And I love it here. It's relaxed, it's chill. Not too much drama, pressure. I have my hammock, I drink my coffee.
Now I have to, because that's usually like a foreign thing to from a different country. A lot of foreigners find the culture, like the food, the language, but then you've already talked about the language aspect of it. Now I want to ask you, the food.
Yeah.
How do you find it? Is there something you really like got used to immediately right away, or something that you had to adapt to quite slowly?
So when I landed, I told the people that I work closely with, like, hey, I actually don't eat too many meats. I eat like seafood, chicken, but beef, pork, I don't really eat it. I stay away from it, especially pork. She's like, okay, and she takes me to this pho spot.
Okay.
I let her order for me. I just landed, so I'm just kind of like, I'll let whatever. I'm literally soaking it all in. And my bowl gets in front of me, and it's all different kinds of tendons and different things. And I go, I try it because, again, I'm usually when it comes to food, when it comes to experiences, but food, I'm very open-minded, I will eat, I'll try it because my motto is the worst thing that can happen is I don't want to eat it anymore. So I can try it and know, like, I never want to try that again. But I'd rather try it and know than miss out, because not all food is an appearance thing.
Yeah, so I'm itching to know. What's your favorite among all the foods, Vietnamese dishes that you've tried so far? What's your favorite?
I would say the bánh xèo. I would say, like, as a cook, I like to cook, I like to eat, I just express that. So I actually have a few like modifications. I'm taking some pancake mix home. And I have a few things, like I'm going to grill some chicken. Because again, I notice there's a lot of shrimp or pork. And I just feel like a different, like, grilled chicken with the sprouts and the onions would just go crazy. The bánh xèo, I love that soup.
Have you tried pho?
Pho?
Yeah. It's not. Excuse me. It's not pho. It's pho. You have to pronounce it exactly the way. There's a bit of drama. There's a bit of oomph about pronouncing it. It's pho. Pho. Okay. So I've heard a lot of foreigners pronounce it as pho or pho. No,
it's better than po. I'm telling you, I'm from the South. I've heard it all.
So it's pho.
Yeah. Okay.
So pho is one of the most popular dish right here in Vietnam, and there are so many others, but pho is right up there.
Yeah. So I'm from Texas. I am not new to the Asian community, the Asian culture. So I've had pho since literally years before it was a trend. Spring rolls. Back when I did eat pork and everything, I had that stuff. I had everything, but not like mi quang or bánh xèo or bánh co. Like, I haven't had any of that. So I appreciated that. I like bánh canh.
Bánh canh.
But I like all of these dishes. I wish a lot of them were made with chicken. So when I get home and I order these places where they are a little bit more Americanized, I'm going to get chicken, and I'm actually happy now that I've experienced Vietnam, because when I go to a pho restaurant, I don't have to just get pho anymore. Like, I did get come du ga.
Cung đùi gà.
Come du gua.
Cung đùi gà.
Come du ga.
Cung đùi gà.
Come du.
Cung đùi gà.
I got the chicken thigh and rice.
Cung đùi gà. Okay.
I've gotten that before. I like that, but
Alright.
just all of the like street food.
Yeah.
That was very
Nice.
light. I don't feel heavy
Yeah.
afterwards.
Nice. Okay, I know there are restrictions since you've been here, but have you had the opportunity to visit other cities apart from Ho Chi Minh City? Where have you visited?
I've been to Dalat.
Dalat. Oh, awesome,
And
beautiful
I have
city.
been to Nha Trang.
Oh, Nha Trang.
Nha Trang.
Not Nha Trang. Look at the way she pronounces it. No, it's alright. You've only been here for a year. Come on. So Nha Trang.
Nha Trang.
Yeah, it's Chang, the TR, it's Cha. Nha Trang.
That's the beauty of the language.
That's the beauty of the language,
That's
actually.
like what it sounds like.
It's not as it looks. It's not the way it's
Not
read.
at all.
Not at all.
Some of it's not even
Nah,
like,
not
whoa,
even
okay,
close.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah. Nha Trang.
Nha Trang.
Yeah.
Nha
Yeah.
Trang
Nha Trang.
is actually my favorite. I have to get out there again before I go.
Okay.
Especially with this weather. Like
Yeah.
I went back in December. I was kind of disappointed. I went to Dalat as well in
Mm-hmm.
December, and I got the weather of the vibes. Like this is mountains. This is where it's okay to be windy.
Yeah.
But on the beach,
That's
I'm kind
more-
of disappointed.
Okay. Okay.
So I need to go back.
Oh.
And there's this resort, so I'm just gonna go back there
Mm.
before I go get some of that beach and that water. I love a good tan.
Nice. So probably in a few months you'll be going back to the States.
Yes.
And do you plan to come back?
I would love to come back. Like, let me get my cake up. Let me get like business in line and figure out what I want to do to be stable. It would be nothing to come back here because I've been to Australia. I've always loved traveling.
Traveling, yeah.
And traveling's not the issue. It's really this virus. Like, I planned on traveling all of Asia.
Yeah.
To be quite honest. This time last year.
Okay.
But, yeah.
All right. If there's one thing you would tell, or you like an advice or message that you send to all the black women or other women, or let's say foreigners in general who are very skeptical about visiting Vietnam, or who have like some already made out picture about Vietnam, what would you tell them since you've been here? What's been your experience, and what advice will you tell them if they want to come to Vietnam?
Really just hope for the best, and
Keep an open mind.
do just what like the flow is telling you to do. I don't think there is a thick enough pressure here to where you have too much to worry about.
Yeah.
You really just need to make sure like you're just using common sense, and I know that's not common for everyone,
Yeah.
but just keep your head on the swivel and travel. And it's good to see outside of what we know and what we're taught as young women, and
Yeah.
even only sticking to being around our community. Just it's good to explore and to see different kinds of cultures, try different kinds of foods, hear different kind of music, dances, outfits, conversations, interests, all of that. So that's what I would say: is have an open mind.
Okay.
Just try it.
I've always wanted to ask this question, but I think it's kind of like appropriate for me to ask you this. There's been a recent surge in crimes against Asians in general in the Western world. Let me say in America.
Yeah.
And I've seen a lot of this hashtags, Stop Asian Hate. There's so much hashtags about minorities. Black Lives Matter, Stop Blacks,
Yeah.
Stop Killing Blacks, Stop Asian Hate. What is going on, and what do you think can be done to bring us closer and of all these hashtags?
Yeah. So I think the root to the issue, being brave, being bold, speak up when you hear or see wrong, and to just understand that at the end of the day, despite what you're taught, despite what you want to emotionally decide on, wrong is wrong, and to mistreat someone despite their color or just all of these basic things, unacceptable when we're talking about living in a cordial environment. So I think finding the root to the issue, identifying it, talking about it, addressing it, collectively coming together and figuring out how can we stop making the controller / the root of the issue. How can we stop this from going around, you know? And it's not always they're the bad guys, we're this. It's really about coming together. That one will be a very big historical thing, because when that happens, you know, past African, it's Afro, it's Asian, it's Latino, it's minorities. When this word that exists, minorities, women, men, everyone understanding that. And to be quite honestly, the non-minority is not always the bad guy either. It's really just certain people who are making certain actions and decisions relevant to masses that kind of agree, and then it turns into this big thing. Because I don't think if I have to speak like an American, all white people are bad.
Yes, exactly.
I don't think that.
Finally, I have to thank you for having this conversation with us, and for our viewers, Jazz, for the meantime that she will be in Vietnam, will also be our creative consultant on this show and on this project. So she will be having a lot of input on so many of the decisions creatively that we'll be making on this show. So we appreciate your contribution to Afroviet TV and for Afroviet TV media production as in general. And we hope that even while you'll be back in the States, you'll be also making so many contributions to the growth of this outlet and all those things that we're trying to project positively to foreigners and to Vietnamese in general. And I really want to thank you for making an appearance on this show today, and let's see what we get to in bringing this project to life as we want to put it. So thank you very much. Thank you very much for giving us the opportunity. See you guys. This brings us to the end of the show, and we hope to see you guys in the next episode. Jazz will be with us all the way in this series, so watch out for the next episode. Thank you for sticking by. We'll see you. This is African Roots, and I'm your host, Mr. Nam, the most handsome guy in Vietnam, as you already know. Thanks.
Feeling like a never ends, back again, square